At this time, I would like to put on do we have a video? And we will be talking about Volunteer of the Year awards, and we're going to play a video first, a short video, and then we'll go up there. So this time, if you can put that on.
Hi, I'm Bridget Moore, and today we are on the corner of Palomar and Shadow Canyon Trail with the Wildemar Beautification volunteers. I feel it's so important to volunteer in your own community before giving back, but actually when you give back, you receive so much more. And by volunteering, you can foster relationships, make new friends, and just have this general well-being of feeling good and doing good in your community. I volunteer for a lot of the different great organizations in Wildemar, such as the Wildemar Rotary Club, the Elks Lodge, Caring Hearts for Veterans and Community, and Wildemar Beautification Volunteers.
Thank you, Riverside County Board of Supervisors.
My name is Karen Alexander, and I manage Make It Cozy, which falls under CityNet, which is a nonprofit. City of Corona hires CityNet to manage caseworkers and reach out to the homeless. And under CityNet's umbrella, Make It Cozy is a program that collects donations from the generosity of the residents and businesses. And then we store those and we match those furnishings up with those who accept homeless solutions. I don't think I realized the importance of Make It Cozy and what impact it has until the homeless advocates actually move in clients and you get to see their faces when they have all these new furnishings that they don't have before and they have a roof over their head, and that's very gratifying.
I'm Claudia Castorena. I'm the CFO of Galilee Center. It's a location here in Mecca. Galilee Center started in 2010, providing just the very basis to the community, which is food distribution. And we, after 12 years, we continue doing that. Our mission here at the Galilee Center is to help the impoverished and disadvantaged families and do it with dignity, compassion, and respect. I think that we describe Galilee Center to be an oasis of things for the different people that come through our doors by providing them with clothing, food, rental assistance, utility assistance, and whatever they need. But we also have this big shelter that provides shelter for the people, not only for the farm workers, but also for the asylum seekers. We help over 12,000 people coming through our shelter between asylum seekers and farm workers. So my motivation is to continue doing whatever I need to do for the poor and the needy, not only financially, but also on their hearts.
My name is Anita Worthen. I am representing the Veterans of Foreign Wars, as well as the Veterans Expo Services and the Riverside County Veterans Advisory Committee and Congressman Ruiz's Veterans Advisory Committee. And the reason I'm doing this is in honor of my husband, who is James Worthen, deceased. He was with the Vietnam veterans. Actually, he was a prisoner of war. It's so important for us to give the honor and respect to those who have served for our freedom, to let people know, military, veterans, family, friends, and spouses, about the benefits and the services and the honor and respect that they deserve.
Thank you, Roy. Now, if my colleagues would join me up there, we can present the awards. Check. Okay. All right. We will start with district number 1, and there you go, Supervisor Jeffrey.
Okay. So, do you want to have them come up here? Because
Yeah,
this is,
okay. So we're going to call up Bridget Moore.
and then we're going to do the organization afterwards?
Yes, the organization.
Okay. So first the volunteer and then the organization. A volunteer and then the organization. So let's punish Bridget Moore. Where is Bridget? Come on up. So Bridget has a lot of friends out there today and a couple of council members, so we can't have a conversation, otherwise you'll violate the Brown Act. So, Bridget, there's a lot to read here, and you all know me, and I don't like reading all that stuff, but it says a lot of really good things about what you have done. I mean, let's just face it. When I'm out doing my stuff Sunday and Saturday mornings, I see your organizations. When I say your, I mean your collectively organizations. Everybody's a part of that. And every community event, you're there. I don't know how you're still married, but a lot of patience. That's how I'm still married. I go to all the events. But really, you set an example. You set the bar so high for the rest of us who want to be out there in the communities and the volunteers. I just can't say enough. And really, I want to thank you on behalf of the First District and the County Board of Supervisors for everything that you've done. And it's incredible, all the things you're involved with. So would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Supervisor Jeffries. It's an honor. We've known each other for many years. So coming from you, I'm just so appreciative. And thank you to all the Board of Supervisors. I love volunteering. You know, I moved to Wildemar in '98. My husband's here, Stuart, and my son, Jake. And my parents are here too, Marcia and Jim, and my friend from college, Jana. But I mean, we moved to Wildemar in '98, and the parks were closed. And I just started volunteering to bring the parks back, and we got it back. And then meanwhile, Wildemar Corporation now is starting, so I volunteered for WIN to help make Wildemar into a city, and then go on city council. You know, it kind of just keeps snowballing. But it's the friendships that you make and the connections that really give back. So even though I give back to the community, I'm receiving so much more. And I do want to thank my family, because I do sacrifice family time to be at the events, but I love the events, and I love our community. We have a great community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's give her a big hand. Thank you very much. Yeah, go stand over there. Okay.
When you have as many residents as we have in each district, it's very hard to choose one. We had so many nominations, and I don't know, I wasn't part of the decision-making, so I was excited that this person was the one chosen, because when you heard about her cozy, you heard that she works with homeless, but the list of her activities in the city of Corona and beyond is incredible. She's been a resident of Corona area for 39 years. She has been very active with law enforcement, with the Corona Community Police Partnership, close enough, and very long, 10 years on the board? Something like that. But that's not it. She is very involved in the homeless community, as you heard, with trying to take something and give back. And quite often you'll have a lot of items that are given for our homeless folks. And I'm going to say this publicly, so often we do the things that we no longer want, that are tattered and worn. And Karen's insistent that when someone's starting new and taking a transition to the next step in their lives, they need something new, rather than all used stuff. She makes sure that it's good and solid for them. She's also been involved with the 100 Women Who Care. It's an awesome organization that raises funds for various organizations in the community. American Legion Post 721 and 21 and 742, as well as the auxiliary. Well, the list is really long. Karen, come on up, and I want to finish while you're coming up. Now, in her free time, she served 6 years on the Northwest Mosquito and Vector Control. She's also a planning commissioner for the city of Corona, but her most important priority is family. In fact, she has put her husband first in the last few months, and nothing got in the way of her being by his side during his chemo. You step aside from all that you're doing, and if you're doing it right, like a leader she is, it keeps going. And, okay, don't start crying because I'll start. If we can have a world filled of Karen Alexanders, can you imagine how wonderful it would be? And I'm sure I've left off some of the things that you do. I don't know how you sleep. Oh, that's right, the food drives for People's Task Force. Anyway, the list goes on. But Karen, can you share a few words?
Thank you. Thank you very much. The good news is my husband is here. He's been my #1 volunteer, helping with everything that I've drug him through over the years, starting with my employment at Corona PD and supporting all their programs. I was very lucky and honored to be an employee there, and that everything from our church involvement to our community involvement. When you live somewhere for so long, they are family, and we've benefited from the schools and the sports activities and the education and our church. And so we have really our wonderful neighborhood, and of course our city employee, retired after almost 30 years. So I've had the benefits, our family's had the benefits. So the second half of our adventure is to give back to our community. And one very important thing, Supervisor Spiegel, thank you for mentioning those items. It's very near and dear, as our son is Marine. He was based out of Camp Pendleton, so I got into Blue Star Moms as a sense of support as we were going through those trials. And Supervisor Spiegel didn't mention to you, but we support care packages. We put on luncheons to support our Gold Star mothers, a lunch every year that's very important, that we remember that their children's death is not forgotten, and we remember their children. And even before Supervisor sat up here on this dais, she was attending those luncheons to make it so important. So I think red, white, and blue flows through both of our veins. The Spiegel family, absolutely. And I thank my Blue Star Mothers, Gold Star Mothers, for being here today to support. It's a very important volunteer that we do and help our community. Regarding Make It Cozy, you know, I used to answer 911 calls for homeless from business and residents and the problems that would come across our city. And now we have a program that is on full steam ahead, from the city to the city management to our council, putting money into programs and having this locomotion move forward. And who wouldn't want to be part of that winning team? So my hand goes out to the advocates who started doing this work and was sitting at caseworkers. So I support them and everything they do. All the heavy lifting is done at their part, and we move in and help make them cozy. So thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Karen. I have the honor of presenting 2 volunteers that have been in the struggle for decades. And I think they've done it all. From working with the homeless, to providing child care, to ensuring housing for farm workers, shelter for farm workers, to asylum seekers. I'm going to ask them both to come up because I got 2 volunteers of the year. Because when you give an award to one, you got to give it to the other. So Gloria Gomez and Claudio Castorena, por favor. I'm not going to read the proclamations, but I am going to provide some more background information. So both these individuals, they serve from their hearts with faith, vision, compassion, and assistance to residents of the Coachella Valley. Both have worked together for a very long time. They founded Martha's Village and Kitchen in 1990, which has become one of the county's most respected providers of services to people experiencing homelessness. In 2010, they founded the Galilee Center to serve the communities in the Eastern Coachella Valley, Mecca, North Shore, Thermal, Oasis. The Galilee Center has been an oasis of hope to the Eastern Coachella Valley's farm workers and families. They provide weekly food distribution, meals, clothing, basic needs. Riverside County partnered with the Galilee Center to build the Mecca Comfort Station, which provides a shower, restrooms, and laundry facilities for farm workers. In recent years, the Galilee Center opened a new emergency shelter so all farm workers can have a place to stay, a safe place to sleep. Gloria and Claudia and the Galilee Center over the last 3 years and during this pandemic have stepped up to become even more of a vital and key partner to the Eastern Coachella Valley when the community has needed assistance the most, and including all the way out to Blythe, California. When the residents of Oasis Mobile Home Park have struggled and really needed help, when the water treatment system at the park failed, the Galilee Center opened its doors and extended its hours to provide a source of clean water to residents. As asylum seekers have arrived in Riverside County, the Galilee Center has been a safe haven and a partner in our coordination of assistance. As North Shore went 2-week-long power outages last year, the Galilee Center has kept its doors open to the community and has assisted with food, water, and distribution of gift cards. It's through the volunteer efforts of Gloria Gomez and Claudio Castorena that the Galilee Center has been an essential organization to the Eastern Coachella Valley, to the 4th District, to the County of Riverside. I am proud we honor both of you with the 2021 Volunteer of the Year Award for the 4th District. Would you like to say a few words?
Go first, okay. Thank you, Victor Manuel. Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you, all of you, to do this honor for us. We're very humble. We started 30 plus years. I always remember this little girl said to me, "Is the founders of Martha still alive?" Yes, we're still alive. We're still here. So we're still here trying to serve the community as much as we can, and we're here to serve for a long time, supervisors. Whatever you need, we're here to serve.
Thank you. I'm also honored and humbled of this recognition. Thank you so much, Supervisor Perez and the rest of you supervisors of the Riverside County. And what we do at Galilee Center, like you mentioned, Galilee Center has been for the last 11 years an oasis of hope in the Eastern Coachella Valley for the low-income community, the farm workers, not only the farm workers, but everybody that is pretty much 100% of the population in the Eastern Coachella Valley falls well below the poverty lines. And that has been our goal, to help in those communities. And I think any kind of need that we have tried to help and assist in all the way we can. That's our commitment, Gloria's and mine, and we don't do it for the recognition, but thank you very much. We do it because we love our brothers and sisters, and we love our community. So thank you so much for this recognition.
I'd like to have Anita Worthen come up, please. As she's walking up here, I am not going to read everything on there. I think we found the next occupation for Supervisor Jeffries. It's going to be a stand-up comic. No. But anyway, Anita, I'm presenting you to this, and we said a lot in the film. Anita, when veterans, especially veterans from the Vietnam War, were pretty much forgotten in this country, she never forgot. Her husband was a prisoner of war. And think how proud he is today of what she has done for not only him, but all of the other people that weren't given the due they were due. And she has worked tirelessly in the pass area especially to bring together these events. I mean, I can't even imagine all the hours and everything. But she has always impressed me from the first time I think I met her. There was this person came up with this huge smile, And she said, "Supervisor, supervisor," and then started asking for things. But they weren't asking for things for her, they were asking for things for other people. And since then, she has been one of my best friends and one of my, well, you know, when you get a burr in your clothes or something like that and you got to get it out, this is Anita. If things are going on in the past and I need to know about it, she lets me know in no uncertain terms. And for that, I had a lot of good candidates for Volunteer of the Year, but Anita stood out in a way that is absolutely shining. And I got to tell you, we've seen all the work she's done for the veterans, and especially Vietnam War veterans, but she also was my go-to person during the pandemic when we needed to get those vaccines out to mostly the gated communities full of the elderly that needed those vaccines the most. And in Four Seasons, which is a very large, she worked with, you know, the different CEOs and everything in there to get those in there. And for that, I really appreciate that too. So thank you so much. I'd like you to have a few words and let us know what you're thinking.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Hewitt. Thank you all. And I think this is a great opportunity really to talk about honor, dignity, and respect. What we do a lot with the Veterans Expo and services is not only for the veterans themselves, but a lot of times the family, they also serve. You also need to know and recognize the help. And we do know also that friends basically are family. So we do everything we can. And I thank you for this opportunity. And I thank you because now I have some other people now I know I can go to. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Roy, we've got another video.
My name is George Reif, and I'm president of the Eastvale Kiwanis Club. Eastvale Kiwanis at its heart is an investment club. We don't invest in stocks or bonds, but we do invest in the children of our community. We're a diverse group of residents united by the belief that our kids need support. Some of the things that we do is we have a Today a Reader, Tomorrow a Leader program that's designed to give money to the local elementary school libraries to promote literacy and a lifelong love of learning. We also host a monthly street cleanup event that gives kids, families, and residents a chance to give back to the community and help keep Eastvale looking its best. We are also very proud to sponsor the Ike Bootsma Memorial Scholarship Fund. This scholarship fund honors the memory of longtime Kiwanian and Eastvale Mayor Ike Bootsma. If you want your community to be a place that's great to grow up and grow old in, you've got to get involved.
Hi, my name is Lorena Maruquin. I am the Director of Community Impact for Fine Food Bank here in Indio, California. Fine Food Bank is the largest rescue organization and hunger relief organization here in our desert region. We provide 150,000 individuals with food assistance each month through our food distribution network.
Hey, this is Jeff Campbell, Director of Operations at Fine Food Bank here in Indio, California, and I'm super proud of our facility and our team as we were able to double distribution from 12 million to 24 million pounds to attack the hunger crisis during the pandemic. We're very grateful to be able to impact the community in such a meaningful way, and we're here for those folks that maybe have a job but just don't quite have enough to make ends meet, and we kind of bridge that gap for them.
Hi, my name is Heather Vicona. I'm the CEO of Lift to Rise. We're here today at our offices in Palm Desert. Lift to Rise is the backbone of a partnership of more than 50 organizations who organize around housing, stability, and economic mobility. During the time of COVID, we've played a really different role, a programmatic role in supporting partners across the Coachella Valley, working with Riverside County to disperse rental assistance to more than 17,000 households. Lyft is playing a role right now with the county and other partners to do everything that we can to keep folks in their homes. And it just simply wouldn't be possible without the leadership of the Board of Supervisors and Supervisor Perez. And also a huge shout out to HWS and Heidi and Carrie and Mike and their team. At the end of the day, every single thing we do is motivated by deep care and concern for the folks around us.
My name is Chad Cheatham. I'm the Vice President of Donkeyland, and we are currently located at the Donkeyland Sanctuary. Donkeyland was founded 10 years ago by my wife, Amber, and my father-in-law, Phil. They started it in their garage with the hopes of helping the wild burros in their area. There was various wild burros that were sick or injured and sometimes orphaned, and they just really wanted to help. The sanctuary is nearly 2,000 acres. We have about 200 to 400 wild burros that come through the property. And to be honest, my wife hasn't had a day off in over 10 years. I'm going on 4 years, and it's 24/7 donkey business.
All right, let's go back up there and we'll do this all over again.
Okay, so this is for the volunteer organization of the year. And to put things in perspective, going back to the late 70s, early 80s, then Supervisor Walt Abraham was, and I think maybe some of the other board members back then, had kicked off a program called Trash Busters. And for those of you who've been around since DIRT, you'll remember that. It was a really successful operation to help clean up and beautify our communities. A lot of the cities and communities have adopted similar programs. Riverside City has the Beautification program. The Temescal Valley has their volunteer organization. And not that long ago, a new organization came into place, and that was created in the city of Wildemar. And that was because, not a surprise, Bridget Moore decided that she needed more to do. And she asked another community member, leader, Joseph, is he here? I think I saw him right there in the front. Asked him to join her and go out and pick up some trash. And who could say no to that? I mean, that's a lot of fun. And so, as I mentioned earlier, as I'm making my rounds in the communities, I always see the vests out on the side of the road. And this is an issue that's plaguing all of the communities, and that's the litter and the illegal dumping that's occurring. And I see their group go through a particular part of the community, clean it up, make it look good again. And as I drive back through the next week, there's more junk dumped on the side of the roads, and they're back out there again. So do you want them all to come up here for this? Or
If we could maybe have them come up at the end of the picture.
Okay, well, we're going to bring you all up. So I'm going to recognize the Wildemar Beautification volunteers for all their work. They've dedicated over 1,000 hours. There's probably been 1,000 volunteers. They've collected over 1,300 bags of trash and litter in their community last year. They've adopted over 4 miles of the 15 freeway in the city of Wildemar to help clean that up. And there's a whole bunch of volunteers here today. Obviously, Bridget, Ann, Ashley, Dan, Deb, Sandy, Debbie, Jerry, Joseph, Keith, Nancy, just to name a few. Thank you all for your service. It is truly appreciated. Even by those who don't know what's going on, they just see a clean road and they think that it just happens on its own. It doesn't. People have to get out and help clean up their community. So on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, and we'll bring you all up because you're such a large group, when we're ready for pictures. Okay. Okay, so let's have Joseph and Bridget, who, would you like to come up or send somebody else up?
We have our mayor here. Mayor, we're going to Mayor Pro Tem Joseph Morbido. We have our councilwoman Ashley Cicalippo.
Got the whole clan here today. Come on up. So just, Joseph, you have to just say a few words, buddy. You can't go long.
Just a few words, right? Yes, it was very difficult to go out there to pick up trash, but Bridget convinced me that it would be a good thing for our community. So it's been a pleasure to do that and watch the group grow to what it is. I know at first we were talking about monthly, then it was going to go to maybe every other week, and I was telling her, we don't want to burn out now. But I'm glad that she pushed through, and we've got this great organization now. So.
I just want to say real quickly, too, that the relationship that Bridget's now developed with Caltrans and how much that's changed our relationship as a city with Caltrans is amazing. And I would encourage every one of the cities that has freeway frontage to work with Caltrans, talk to them, find out who the groups that have adopted those various portions of the highway. Bridget has found in our city there's groups that just haven't been out there for a year or two. So work with Caltrans, get a new group in there, start moving forward, because it really makes a huge difference. And our neighboring cities are all wondering, how are you getting all this support from the state, from Caltrans to come down and help clean? It's all about Bridget and working with Caltrans. So thank you, Bridget, for doing that as well.
There's a theme that you've seen through the volunteers and now the organizations: homelessness and cleanup. But it's true. Those are the ones that stand out in our community. I have the opportunity to get to know the Eastvale Kiwanis. Now theirs is a little different take. They involve the youth. This past Saturday at the cleanup, in fact, Mayor Benoit was there, actually working. So I don't know if it works for you guys, but he was working. And at the cleanup, there was 3 locations or 4? 5. Oh, sorry. Through the city of Eastvale, the one we were at had over 200 youth alone, let alone all the adults for the cleanup. Now, granted, it was Earth Day, and they do their monthly cleanups. But when you think about teaching our youth, a lot of it is by example. Remember Say No to Drugs? Remember back when you were younger, some of you were, about telling your parents to stop smoking? And our smoking has decreased. Well, hopefully through all these cleanups, we're going to encourage our youth not to be throwing trash and junk around. I'm hoping that's going to be an long-time goal. But so they really involve the youth, and I've not seen a Kiwanis club that really reaches down to our youth the way that the Eastvale Kiwanis Club has done. Not only through the cleanups, but all the different organizations they give the opportunity to our youth to go to. And they attend, and they help. And of course, George started with his youth, his children, and Franny, and they would show up to help, but they always brought their kids. And I think that's an important thing, that we need to reach out to the next generation and lead by example and bring them to show them what it is to be a responsible adult in the community, and that is to give back, because this room is filled with volunteers, those that are giving back to our communities, and that's what's really exciting about today. So the Eastvale Kiwanis, if you saw, George did a wonderful job explaining it with scholarships, with getting our libraries filled with books. And so it's a very important part of what their mission is, but it's all about our youth. So can a couple of you members from the Eastvale Kiwanis come on up? We have Squeaker Bootsma, who is, she's the widow of Ike Bootsma, who the main scholarship is named after, as well as George Reif. And Frank, oh, just all you. Wants to talk.
Sure. First, I'd like to thank the supervisors, especially Supervisor Spiegel, for her continued support of our club. It's always a treat for the kids to see their supervisor come out and join them in the cleanups. Speaking of bringing your kids along, she never fails to bring RJ to our events, and he actually does quite a lot of work. This is a tremendous honor. Eastvale Kiwanis exists solely to improve the lives of young people in our community. We are an investment club. We don't buy stocks or bonds, but we do invest in the kids because we believe that investing in the youth of our community is an investment that never diminishes and will always pay a great return. Thank you again for this award. We really appreciate it. And Squeaker, would you like to say anything? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a couple, once again, because both these organizations have done outstanding work as well. I'd like to ask Debbie Espinosa, Kelly Sullivan to please come on up as our 2 honorees for Volunteer Organization of the Year. Come on up from 5 Food Bank. So I got some text here to read out loud because I think it's important you hear this. Fine Food Bank has been serving our community since 1983. It is a regional food bank hub for the entire Coachella Valley region, and it even extends to the Morongo Basin in southern San Bernardino County. And that's a large area, and Fine Food Bank assists other food banks as far as Blythe, and I believe as well as Anza. Fine creates opportunities for volunteers to serve the community. Anyone looking to volunteer can find a great opportunity to serve. They have an excellent program, and on a yearly basis, how many volunteers do you get, Debbie? Do you recall?
We have over 2,500 volunteers totaling over 16,000 hours, which is equivalent to about 8 full-time staff people.
That's why they're here. Give them a round of applause, please. Now, during the pandemic, Fine expanded its food distribution sites and mobile markets. This helped residents when they lost work, children when they lost access to meals when schools were closed down. And in challenging, difficult times, Fine Food Bank always brings hope and operates with love to support our communities. Last year, when the community of North Shore suffered 2-week-long power outages, and residents lost all the food that they had in their refrigerators, we were able to call Fine Food Bank to assist. In a matter of a day or two, Fine put together emergency food distributions to help feed our community through these crises. Fine can always be counted on to bring food to people's tables. When we held community resource fairs last year, we were able to call on Fine, and they contributed not only boxes of food and water, but a large supply of diapers, which are a huge need for communities with many young families. Today, Fine's mission is needed more than ever. As inflation is causing an additional challenge in the fight to end food insecurity, Fine is an amazing organization, and I just want to commend you for all that you do, and I proudly support your organization. Thank you. I'd like to say a few words.
Board of Supervisors, thank you so much. Supervisor Perez, thank you so much. You were side by side with us for the last, not just 2 years, but for many years, but especially in the last 2 years during the COVID crisis. For me, as a CEO, our work is humbling because of the people that we come in contact with every day. And as I'm receiving this award on behalf of all of our volunteers, our board of directors, our 40 full-time staff, the amount of work that it takes to be able to serve people who come to us with stories like this. I remember at the very beginning of the crisis, there was a gentleman that came to our line, and he had a multi-generational family that was living in his household. And he said, I'm coming here, I know you're rationing food right now, because we had gone from serving 90,000 people on average every month to 190,000 people in less than 6 weeks. And so the supply chain hadn't caught up yet. We were in the process of trying to serve equitably throughout our 5,000 square mile region because we go all the way to Blythe, we go all the way up to Anza, we go all the way up to Joshua Tree. And he said to us, I haven't eaten in 2 days because everything that I have, I want to make sure that my mother-in-law has food. I need to make sure that my wife has food. And I need to make sure that my children have food. So I'm going to go 2 days without. And anything they can do to help us out right now. We have this ability to be able to make it work. And when you take that and you multiply that by 190,000 people that you're serving on average every month during that time, and still serving approximately 150,000 people because we haven't quite recovered yet. The work that we do is humbling. We have to make sure that all of the agencies, we have over 150 distribution sites, the Galilee Centers, the churches, the congregate feeding programs, the shelters, to make sure that they are stocked. And where there are none of those agencies, we deploy another 40 mobile markets out to the community to ensure that everybody that needs food has the ability to be able to receive it equitably and wholly, that it's nutritious, and that there's access. Thank you to the county for helping us with regards to that. It was lovely to partner with you. We are the regional disaster food bank out for that area. The EMD was amazing to be able to support us and help us find the locations we needed to go. And it truly takes a community to be able to ensure that people don't have to make choices between paying for their rent or eating their food or paying for medical bills or eating food. We can do this together, and we have the ability to make change in the community the way in which all of these organizations and volunteers are doing it today. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Debbie. And with that said, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this organization as well and have them come on up. Heather Vicona and your group, Live to Rise, please come on up for Volunteer Organization of the Year. Come on up. Live to Rise was built out of the work of Find Food Bank as a nonprofit organization founded to address the concerns of poverty and income inequality through a collective impact approach. Some of the long-term efforts Live to Rise has been working on are housing solutions. Here you go. During the pandemic, Live to Rise built an entire rental assistance program to help residents in the Pass area, the Coachella Valley, and Blythe State House pay utility bills and assist in our economic recovery. It's very impressive how they formed this program. The rental assistance program, United Lift, was one of the first COVID-19 programs we set up, and we went with a model to have this nonprofit partner administer the program for the eastern half of Riverside County. This allowed staffing to quickly ramp up to get the rental assistance out to the community. With Live to Rise operating this program, they made Riverside County's program one of the most effective and successful programs in the state of California and perhaps even the country. This is notable because the rental assistance programs during COVID-19 marked the first time government has ever done this. Live to Rise did active outreach to bring the application process out to the communities. They put an emphasis on serving communities that are often left out, reaching out to our undocumented residents and focusing on the undocumented community. And what is also inspiring is the team of people Live to Rise has brought together in this service. Many of the team members are from the local area and are recent graduates working in public service to help families have the crucial assistance they need. And I want to thank Heather, her team, the youth. The youth are amazing. Many of them are graduates or still going to school. And I think they're in it for the right reasons. And they come with passion and with a lot of heart. And so Live to Rise, thank you for rising all of us. Appreciate it, Heather. Thanks. A few words? Round of applause, please, for Live to Rise.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez, and thank you to all of the supervisors. I was really inspired when Debbie was talking, and to be here with Claudia and Gloria and so many other great leaders. I just want to say one thing that I think what binds all of us in this room is we get up and we do the work that we do because we love the people that live around us. And I appreciate the leadership of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors at the beginning of the pandemic because of the leadership of you and HWS and Carrie and Mike and Heidi. You all made one of the largest allocations of CARES Act funding that allowed us to get going and keep people housed. We know that before the pandemic, 2 out of 3 people could not afford their rent. That's even worse now. And the folks that Debbie described who are food insecure, those same folks are trying to stay in their homes. And the decisions that you make here on the dais about what to do in policy and practice deeply impacts everyone's everyday life. 45% of the folks who are applying for rental assistance are single parents. 89% of those folks are single mothers, and the majority of them have children aged 0 to 5. And so housing insecurity and food insecurity and all of the things that everyone does to support folks, we often don't see it with our own eyes because it can be masked outside. And I'm just so honored that we're able to accept this award. And Supervisor Perez, I can say on behalf of all of us, we're really grateful for you, and we really do love and appreciate the support that you've provided to us. And I can just say that Supervisor Perez's office is above ours, and Greg on his staff, these folks are available to us 24/7. And all of us have been through the wars, I would say, in the last couple of years. But you have all made yourself available to support and care for us in a way that's made this possible. So we're incredibly grateful. We're humbled and honored for this award. Thank you for your continued belief in us, and we're grateful to be up here with all of these amazing leaders.
Thank you, Heather, and your team. We're all in the same building. I feel like I'm back in college.
Thank you, and we'll just indulge you for a couple more minutes, and we do have one more institution or whatever you want to call it. Look, we're going to need a bigger boat if we keep going like this, that's for sure. Can Chad and Amber come up right now? Are you here? There we go. Is Amber still tending to the residents? She's video recording donors. All right. Okay. So look, we're not dealing with food. We're not dealing with trash. We're not dealing with keeping people in homes. And all those things are extremely important. They're extremely important. But this next one is going to honor someone who has. There's been a big problem. We have wild or feral donkeys in the areas of Ritchie Canyon and all the hills between Moreno Valley and Ritchie Canyon. And over the years, a lot of these have been run over. There have been people injured. And in fact, I believe recently there was even a woman that was out trying to pull a young burro out, and she was hit and killed by a car also. So this is a very serious thing, not to mention that these donkeys would come in there, and you have all these homes with all this beautiful landscaping, and they're in there. Of course, they don't know. They see grass. You know, they want to eat everything. And so what I'm talking about here is not only a woman and her father, but a gentleman that's come in and helped in so many ways. Donkeyland, you saw what it's about on the film, but it's a lot more than that. Fortunately, they have, I won't name that donor, but they have a very, he's probably known in the animal rights community as their biggest champion. And he has made this their pet project, so to speak. And there was a pun intended in that. I had the honor to tour Donkeyland last week, and it really is something. Chad will tell you how many donkeys are there now. There's a way of controlling the population in a humane way and allowing all these donkeys to live out and keep a stable population, much like a habitat conservation program does, but without sometimes all the different bureaucratic that hamstrings so many. So with that, I'm going to let Chad speak a little bit about it, but I will make one comment that thank goodness we can't register all these hundreds and hundreds of donkeys, because it would shift our county totally blue, because I understand they're totally Democrats. Had to throw that in there. Once we get in elephant land, no, but anyway. Chad, would you like to speak a few words about that? Yeah.
Thank you to the Board of Supervisors and especially Supervisor Hewitt for the tremendous support in his office and team. We couldn't have got to this point without you and the sheriff and animal control and all the authorities that have helped us. It's really about saving lives, humans and animals. And we're just blessed. We're an all-volunteer organization. I humbly accept this on behalf of our board and all of our volunteers. It's tragic in many ways, the plight of these non-native burros. They've been here for over 60 years, roaming the hills. They didn't ask to be here, but they're here, and they didn't really have a future. They were kind of in a gray area until my wife stepped up and out of her garage started rescuing orphans. A lot of their family members were killed by car accidents. There's been several fatalities over the years. They've been on the freeways twice in the last year. They're at the campus of UCR. They're roaming in Walmart parking lot in some cases. So we've been blessed with our donors. We've secured over 2,000 acres in the hills. We're presently building them a sanctuary to get them out of harm's way. We do go on rescues. We rescue the sick, injured, and the orphan. We raise the money for all the medical expenses. And we've just been truly blessed. And it's an honor for us to give back to the community and help save lives. And we're establishing a sanctuary for lots of different wildlife. There's so much development coming. And the wildlife, they matter too. So we're very thankful.
Thank you. And at this time, I would like all of us to get down here. We'll take a big picture, and the rest of you from the Wildemar cleanup. Let's go ahead and. Okay. Okay, let's do that. That's a good idea. Thank you all so much and everything you do. And I got one more here. Let's see.